Welcome to the Blue Swan Podcast. Today we have Grammy Award winner and founder of the Pandora's Box virtual reality composition, Nadeem Majdalany. And so it's all you. Say
Oh,
whatever.
okay. The reason we do these things, right, is to shamelessly and selflessly promote the products we're doing, and so we can get you enough endorsements to buy a yacht or installed basketball court in your house.
Um, okay, so let's go to Pandora's Box. Right?
Yeah.
So I saw it, in terms of the artistry and the designs, you've got bits and pieces of Illumina-esque logos on the tops and bottoms. You've got real life animation of characters sitting there in the splits, spinning around doing yoga while you're posing, and then the sort of view of downtown LA, and then you merged it with nature from Phoenix of Atlantis into like a 360 surround sound VR event. So
So Phoenix of Atlantis was the kind of this jumping off point for myself. Rather than, I so much music that I wanted to put out. I had to start somewhere and so many ideas. And then I had been working on Pandora's Box since 2016 as an idea of a cube, a physical box, which would be a score as well. And I sketched it out, I drew and then I created every version of it from a small cardboard prototype to a large, heavy carpentried wooden version, which weighed 283 pounds. And then finally, with a wonderful friend, we came up with the 60-pound version, which is the version you see. There's more lore behind that on the knobs and things, but it gets pretty dark. No, it's okay.
yeah, but there's darkness and light and particles
And
flying in water.
there's always, because the story of a lot of the making of this is this interchange of people intersecting in your life a lot. And when I started on this journey in 2023, I had more meetings than there were days of the year. I keep track of all these. Um, every year, I keep track of every meeting I go to in a journal, and I do what I call meeting taxes at the end of the year. I look at every month, and I look at all the meetings in a accounting book I keep, and I have to see which ones were worth it enough to keep going on, which ones led to anything progressive, and which ones were just utterly useless and like what was the point of that? Like, so 2023, I had 423 meetings. I had more meetings than there were days of the year, all rendering a big fat nothing. No funding, no. So it when January 2024 came around, I that was the month that broke my back for the rest of the year because I had reached this breaking point and I decided to take things into my own hands. And I just did everything that I could do. And that's when I learned and it helped me a lot dealing with this overloading of stress. And you can't control anyone, you can't exert your will and your desires and plans on anybody, but you can do it yourself. You can control your actions and what you do. So, with knowing what I know, I just made a plan and did it. And that's the beginning of this journey. And how we ended up here with the headset is another chapter in a very magical story.
Okay. Yeah, I think people try to always talk about how it's everything is a team effort, and that's true. Like it's impossible to go it alone.
Oh
Nobody
yeah.
does that.
No.
But at the same time, like there's a focal point where like you kind of have to zone in, and sometimes that means like going in your own direction and then meeting people along the way who create the same vision at the same kind of velocity that you do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so in terms of that, so like when you look at the artwork for Phoenix of Atlantis, and then you look at the graphic design for Pandora's Box, there's like a sizable amount of overlap. You've got the DNA sequence in the base of the Phoenix. You've got, tree branches for wings. And of course, it's got the Greek origin because you were involved in, I believe, like Greek orchestras,
Yes.
way, way, way back in the day.
Yes. Yeah.
And so how did that chapter merge into Pandora's box?
Um, so I was about 19, 20 years old. I was very young and impressionable when I started conducting. And I learned from some very wonderful humans that most likely their their lessons and way of teaching were would probably get you fired from any academic institution now. But it shaped the way I am. And it also um, helped me see the world and people very in a very unique and loving way, and balancing out that that heavy load we all carry, wherever, everything's so awful and terrible, but the way they showed it, and bringing that energy into your conducting, and as a psychological way of using that in the music makes the music happen. And I loved it. And I spent a lot of time also, you know, playing National Treasure in real life and doing a lot of digging and going to Delphi and a lot of exciting mystical places, and absorbing everything I could, and then bringing that back and translating it into my music, which hides in secret messages in the writing.
So let's go over origins. So when we talked over the phone, you you had a pretty crazy story. And one of the things that's fun to hear about that is that everybody looks at people, whether they're entrepreneurs or they're entertainers, and they're like, wow, like you have a Grammy, you have an Oscar or whatever.
I wish I had an Oscar.
I mean,
I would love to have one. That'd be fun.
it's feasible. I
It
mean, I guess if
is.
you score films, but
I mean, one day.
yeah.
Who knows?
And so the thing is that there's the path to getting there, and then there's actually being there. And so if you don't mind, would you be willing to sort of discuss like sort of experiences living in New York and then getting to where you are with the Grammys and everything else and the massive success that comes with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where okay, so um I while in college, I mean, we're going back here. While in college, I went and ahead and I tried and I did everything I possibly could. Because I came from Canada, and I just wanted to make the most of my limited time here. So I just did everything I possibly could. I got so fortunate. I scored my first movie in 2006. It was a feature film called The Seven Swords. From that, came the parties and the invitations and all the noise that comes along with a successful film. Who then took me to New York, where I worked in the field of advertising, and that's always been a passion of mine. Um, and I got to do Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week and different things like that, and then everything was just over in a blink of an eye, because I did not want to play ball with the powers that be. I didn't want to, I didn't want to, they were, you know, I didn't want to behave in criminal activity. Let's just say that. So they took everything away, and I ended up sleeping on the subway. I slept on the N train, and because I could get the longest amount of sleep at night. And I ran into a friend of mine after I think about a month or so, and I crashed on his floor for a bit so I can get pieces of my life back together. Um, and I just started up again. But in that duration, I never stopped. I made my own short film called Da Capo. I also directed a music video. And then I uh pursued a master's degree. I wrote operas and ballets. I never stopped writing. And I found a way. I found a way to survive on basics. And then in 2010, I was flown out here to work on a film called Hopeless. And I said, I hate it here. I'll never live here. And that's when the universe had other plans because I never left. And I built a whole career, life, kids now. And yeah, everything is, I love it here. And now I'll never
Thanks. Yeah.
leave.
No, I initially when I first, talked to people and thought of moving to LA, I hated the culture because I had also never spent much time here.
Oh,
And
I just didn't like that there was no subway I could take. That's why I had to have a car.
I mean the subway and then there's the highway in LA. LA is like a giant traffic jam, but
I
it's
will tell you though, my
yeah.
parallel parking skills are top notch.
I pray to God every time I parallel park. So when you take the driving exam, like out of state, out of like DC or California, they don't
Yeah.
test parallel parking.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, growing up in Canada, you had a parallel park between snowbanks and stuff. But it's so funny. I was one of my friends, his name is Dante. He has this clothing line and he's an amazing designer. And we were, we were in the car the other day, and I was just like, "Oh, here we go. Oh, there's a spot." And he goes, "How'd you do that? I used to work at Mercedes-Benz." He's like, you must be from the East Coast. Only East Coast people park like that. He's like, they parallel park in no time. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Because I met a lot of people out here who do not know how to parallel park. Why is it on an exam? Maybe it should be on an exam.
I don't know. I mean, so
We got
drive.
far off topic, but
Oh,
I do that a lot.
it's fine. And so I mean, I think everybody in LA has had this misfortune of driving, and drivers in LA are just a different breed. But all of that fun aside, yeah, it's like I think that LA is a beautiful place. The weather it's almost like Miami, it's in January, it's the sun is shining, you can run around in a t-shirt.
That's right.
And
We
so
live here and they don't.
yeah, and so back to like the artistry and everything else. And
Yeah.
so with Pandora's box, like you've got your own little essence of video Ouija. And so there was this episode of a TV show called Aqua Teen Hunger Force where
Oh,
that
I love
had
it. Yes.
that title. And so I almost don't want to mention like video Ouija because it might kind of scare off the audience, but it's fine because this is going
If
into
the
this
audience
perfect.
wants to be scared, let them get scared. There's nothing you can do to control that.
Perfect. And so in that episode, it's got this shaman, and so he's sitting there in Adidas sneakers, banging on the ground with a stick, chanting like "Arise, chicken, arise!" And of course, they bring back Ultra Mega Chicken, which is this giant robot chicken. And so, you know, crazy as that sounds, it's like periodically artists will have these random strokes of genius, where all of a sudden it's like, it's like lightning strikes your brain, and you know all of the answers. And so there is an art and there's a science to raising children. And in one of your previous podcasts, you mentioned dressing up your daughter as a chicken. And
Yes,
so I'm just
that was her
intrigued.
first Halloween costume. She
I'm
was 1 years old.
okay. Are you willing to kind of to
Show a
touch on that?
picture?
I mean, if
You
you
have a
want, or
picture.
discuss the logic behind that.
I've never shown my children on camera, but
Mm,
um, hold on. Let me find it. Continue while I look for Scarlett dressed as a chicken.
go for it. And this is fine. I think that one of the issues with sort of media in LA is that there's this obsession with image and public relations, and that's fine because everybody's manager wants to toss it around. But the truth of the matter is that almost everybody is happy to discuss their children, and so I'm very very happy to
Oh,
go over this and enjoy sharing these photos on the show.
my mom and dad sent this Halloween costume to her. It was, yeah, she was 1 years old. This is her first. I know I have it saved here. It's like I love this picture. I love yeah, it really made me laugh too. She looks, chickens are chickens are oh here, no, that's her dressed as a peacock. Um yes, I dressed my children up in fun costumes. If people can do that to their dogs, then why can't we do it to our kids? Screw.
Yeah. I mean, and so looking back, I remember my dad dressed me up as a ninja, and so like at like 5 years old, you don't see the gears turning, and then it's like at 30, I look back, it's like, oh my God,
Oh,
like it's
here it
like
is.
condition your children from day.
Here's Scarlett's chicken.
That's adorable.
Um, yes, go phone.
Okay. Um, all right, and so back to music and instrumentals. So
Yes.
you've also discussed like a passion for water percussion, and
Oh
so.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I got very excited
Oh, cool. And
now.
so that I definitely want to delve into because the science and the physics behind anything in terms of impact in water is a lot different. And so it does alter the trajectory of the sound. And so I'm curious to see why you like water percussion over regular percussion.
Well, I love percussion in general. I love it. And I have a Grammy winner certificate, and it says percussionist on it. And it's so I feel like now I am a percussionist. I'm also an endorsed premier artist with Marimba One, which is one of the premier marimba manufacturers out there. Make the best marimbas. Um, and so I start, the idea of my love for percussion came to me when I started composing solo timpani pieces. I realized there was like this vacancy in the solo timpani repertoire, and I had become obsessed with timpani. So I started writing for solo timpani, and I realized there's so much you can do outside. I created these gloves with marbles on them and all kinds so you could hit different things. Make all these amazing wild sounds that can be pitched as well, which the timpani is a pitchable instrument.
Okay.
And then I realized as it kind of grew in water has that ability in there. And there's this really cool instrument. I want to say LP makes it. It's called the Galaxy. And a few percussionists have it. It's like this like orb like percussion instrument, and it has water inside like a liquid, and you can play it and it makes like these cool sounds like pitched percussion watery sounds. So I got me one of those and I started playing it. And then I started doing different things of water, like wine glasses, water glasses, just to see where we could go. which led to the contributions I did on the first Grammy win, the Mythologies album, where I recorded water that fell from the sky, also known as rain. And that landed in some jars. And then I used what naturally occurred by chance in those. I didn't change any of the jars. And then I used that as my pitch set and work with those, then testing out the mallets. I also have an obsession with mallets. I have a lot of weird obsessions.
Cool.
Yeah.
I used to I played the drums in high school, and
Yeah.
so my first kit was this. I got lucky. It was a Tama of like 4 piece, and so Sabian
Maple?
some. I think I used Japan oak drumsticks. It may have been maple for the base of the drums, and then Sabian cymbals, all of
Oh,
those.
nice. Okay.
I don't know why I had this thing against Zildjian. It's like they were good, but it sounded a little too bright.
That's
Um,
fine. You don't have
and
to apologize for not liking something. It's okay.
I mean, yeah,
Zildjian's not going to send you anything now, but I don't think he was looking for an endorsement from Zildjian. Were you?
oh, I mean, honestly, if anyone,
Sabian, send him stuff.
I mean, okay, so look, I'm truly an entrepreneur at heart, and so if either Sabian or Zildjian is listening and they're interested in sponsoring me, let me know sort of which one, and then I can clip this and re-release it according to whoever's offer is better. But on a completely
See, I found the humor in that.
uh, sarcasm is like the lifeblood of
No
all
one
that's good
has
in
it
the world.
anymore.
That's a shame. And I mean, and maybe
Sarcasm's like Taco Bell. Everyone loves it, but you're afraid to eat it.
I would hope that sarcasm these days is prepared a little bit better than
Taco Bell send me stuff.
Yeah, and so apparently you released a film about guns in the USA, and so in Taco Bell
I
there
didn't
are
really say that was I was just a composer on
right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the one of the brainchilds of it was one of my very good friends, Sean Daly, and it was so it was about gun violence, the mass killings in schools, and it was such a hard film to compose for because of all these interviews with the kids, uh, and yeah, that was a heavy one to write for. I needed some breaks. I remember I was sitting at my kitchen table and I just finished going through some of the score and I got maybe about 10 minutes in and I called Sean. I was like, I got to take a break from this. I'm like, this is some heavy stuff
Yeah.
because so you're scoring a documentary. So you have to just sit nicely in there, but it's such a serious, heavy topic. It's always at the political threshold of everything. It's like gun violence and mass murder,
Yeah. And
and no one wants to talk about it.
I mean, and so the truth of the matter is that this was supposed to roll into a joke about Taco Bell's meat guns, and so
Oh,
because the guitar, yeah, I know the
I'm
guitars.
sorry I took it in a serious way. I didn't know we were on the Taco Bell thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, it's fine. I
I
mean,
should have brought Taco.
it's just like sarcasm comes shooting out of everywhere, and
I know.
it's like one of the guitarists that I used to play in a band with talked about, how his sister couldn't get a soft taco, because their meat gun was broken. And apparently they have different guns for meat, for guacamole, for
I
whatever.
didn't know about meat gun.
Yeah, and so I think that I appreciate
I
you.
know they have a corporate office in Irvine.
Okay,
I'd love to. Maybe we should go on a tour there. I'll call them up, see if they give out tours.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can dual wield sour cream and guacamole.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I
cool.
bring out the best in people, I'd like to say.
You do.
Some people say I bring out the worst in them because they just end up, never mind.
I think it depends. I think that like creativity kind of it comes out in all sorts of ways. And so in terms of that, like why classical? And the reason I'm asking this is
Ooh.
that So the last couple of episodes, I spoke to people who did production. So some of them did I think like like rock or more along the lines like Latin like Shakira. Some did tracks for Madonna, and every style of music has a slightly different person. And so it's like the
Right.
people who are in orchestra or the violinists, they're radically different from bass players who are different from the people who play the keyboards.
I
You know,
look like your typical classical composer. This is, I think, what everyone looks like, right? This is
I
right.
mean,
Or to generalize it. Am I supposed to wear a stuffy suit and a necktie?
I was hoping for a wig.
A
Apparently,
wig.
yeah, apparently Beethoven never really cared about,
Beethoven's my favorite.
yeah.
Yeah. Beethoven's last words were, "It's a shame we'll never know how it tasted." And he drank a lot of wine. He loved drinking. And he had like, now we would have like subscription boxes come to your place. So Beethoven had wine deliveries because he would love to have wine. So they would bring wine to his apartment and he was drink them. He loved wine. And the last, or it's his, as he was dying, his friends were hanging around. Um, he was very bedridden, and the delivery guy opened the door, put the crate of wine inside, and left. And he sat up and he goes, "It's a shame we'll never know how it tasted," and died. And he has the largest funeral in attendance of anyone. And he was very beloved. And I think he had over 30,000. And back then, the population of the world isn't the way it is now. Or like 30,000 people show up for your funeral. That's a lot of people. Um, but also called crazy, slightly despised. Uh, didn't really write for the aristocracy. He kind of wrote for man and humanity and showing the human condition through his music. Went deaf because of syphilis, because he liked to party. Um, and just, I think, one of the most brilliant writers. I know I kind of went off a little bit, but he didn't have wigs. Also, in Pandora's box, I pay homage to Beethoven and I hide little excerpts, little four measure excerpts every so often of different like string quartet parts, like there was symphonic um Easter eggs inside. Yeah. There were only two people who found them so far. Corinne and Megan. You guys know who you are. Good job.
That's perfect. And so it's very clear that you hang around a lot of video game developers because I was gonna drop the whole Easter egg line about bits and pieces of various, famous composers from Beethoven that you drew inspiration from in Pandora's box. And so just did anyone else in the cast catch anything? You mentioned one of the violinists listened.
Yes, there's well, there's there's the sigils. There's the six sigils. You can find them. They're down. We had there's a writer. Actually, I'm going to be directing the movie he wrote later this fall called The Good Twin. And I want to give this guy a punch card or have a trophy made. We did 52 screenings in 25 days. So we did a double header every day, not including the premiere, which we did a double night premiere and we had three screenings on both nights. So um I never include those in the screenings. But Zach Bliss came to see I feel like he deserves to have his name said and a trophy. He came 9 times, came to see this. I feel like I should just round it up to 10. But he came 9 times to see this, and he said, every time I watch this, there's something new to discover. And I feel like Devin, the Chimbasso player in there, by the way, if you ever need, I'm going to plug Devin. If anyone needs an amazing brass player, call Devin Taylor. Find him, hire him. I think he came runner up. I think he came like about four times, three or four times. But yeah, we had a lot, and that's that's the thing. I think there's a Scorsese who says this, but he says that you watch a movie once and then you'll watch it again 10 years later and it has a different meaning for you. It has something. So with Pandora's Box, as I kind of like really stepping into my full role as director, because I'd done a music video, I did three short films that have done the award circuit. I think I just on those three films have amassed a little over 40 awards.
Okay.
And directing Pandora's Box, every time you come to rewatch it, you can find something new in there. Easter eggs, whether you're an audiophile, a cinephile, you know, a lover of art, contemporary art, gaming, Easter egg finding. There's even humans doing things in there. Did you see the contortionist playing the gamelan?
I did not. I think I watched it in eighths, and so
Yeah.
yeah, it's easier to digest when the whole thing is broken down into eighths. Like you can't. It's like
That's the beauty about having it on the MetaQuest because you can enjoy it in chapters. We're gonna have a menu option. You can go chapter by chapter. It's a very interactive menu. We had an amazingly talented um, actress who came to do our voiceover work for the Ala Dropina, and she came and she did the best job. So when you find like when you go in, the menu, the way we did it is the menu interacts with you. It gives you sass too. It'll be have a little bit of sarcasm in there, like questioning your choices, whether you want to pause here or not. So, and Ala's one of the best actresses and just extremely talented people. Hire her too. I'm gonna
thanks.
just keep plugging people. That's what this is for, right? Selfless promotion and shameless entrepreneurship. Taco Bell sent him stuff. Um,
Please do it. And then also, as you know,
Send him a chalupa.
also I'll hedge Taco Bell against Del Taco, given the
I
chance.
do like there's a Del Taco burrito I like.
Yeah,
The steak and bacon burrito.
interesting.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because like so I after Capoeira a while ago, I went on this Del Taco bender and they had the double Del cheeseburger, and apparently so of course Taco Bell doesn't do that. And
yeah.
so it's this whole apples to oranges in terms of corporate menu warfare. I'm
Well, in
sure
the future, all the restaurants are Taco Bell. So,
I would love that. And
it's one of the most unhinged podcasts in your episodic lineup. Yeah,
um
I've seen some of the people on that lineup.
oh yeah,
I
it's
feel like we should have done this at a Taco Bell next time.
hell yes.
We'll do the
And
follow-up there.
cool. And
We'll go to
so
the fancy one on Hollywood Boulevard. Did you see that one?
awesome. I
The
mean
cantina.
if you want, I'm happy to eat it on the sidewalk. I this
Don't eat it off the side. Oh,
Oh, sitting on the
off the
sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Yeah, it's like, and so the beauty of I think sort of LA and some of the artistry is that it's not just about location. It's about like the people you're with and like the things that you're doing. And I think that I get it. Like so, like image in Hollywood sells.
Mhm.
Period. And so, but it's kind of like, in both Hollywood and life, it's sort of like Star Wars. And so there's a light and then there's a dark side. And so in terms of that, and this is, I guess the whole thing is completely unhinged and we're talking out of the box anyways. So can you touch on that quickly?
What Ask it one more time.
like the light and the dark side of the Force in Hollywood.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh my. Okay. Um, well, I'd say the light side and the happiest side is when you see the most beautiful faces. And I don't mean like that recombobulated face. I mean like when you see the ones with the genuine feel that they put into trying to capitalize on their work, their art, their craft, and they go at it again and again, rejection after rejection, and they keep going, and then they magnetically draw and sink in other people like that, and they create such beautiful things. And that's um, I know you're being very kind in saying, you know, my idea of this Pandora's box, but I always remember everyone who made this. Did you see the credits? There are 200 people that worked on this movie.
Yeah.
That's 200 beautiful faces. I am not an easy person to work with, by the way. Those are really nice. I try to be good. I do. I I know I have my faults and weaknesses, and I'm a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with, but um I'm passionate, and I'm caring, and I do like seeing people win. And I want the best for everyone, and especially for all those beautiful things. There's a great Charles Bukowski poem called Philippe's. And it's one of my favorite places to eat at in LA. You ever been?
I have not, but I Bukowski, that's Ham on Rye was Bukowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a poem called Philippe's, and it says at the end of the poem, it says their coffee is still 5 cents. And for a nickel at 5 in the morning, you can see the most beautiful faces in all of Los Angeles. And it's just this beautiful image. And I've gone down there as it's open all all night long. And I mean the coffee's not 5 cents anymore, but for 99 cents, it's it's gone up a little bit. On the dark side of the coin, there's a problem I have. It kind of like rubbed the wrong way. It's this fake idea, but this is the land of fake, So you just have to know it exists, but you don't have to play. You don't have to sit in the hot tub. There's a lot of things. There's always like the Grammy people that gravitate to each other. There's all they become all cliques and everything. It's hard to stay in the hot tub with all those people for so long until you start getting annoyed, I guess, because no one's actually doing anything. They're all talking about doing stuff, which it pisses me off. And then they're just pooling things together, doing things, but not doing anything. We've just become a group of Uber drivers, all giving each other rides to the airport, and no one's getting on a flight.
Awesome. Then so of course I'm wearing a Bad Religion t-shirt, and so I think
I
that
like, ooh,
yeah,
that's one of my favorite bands.
yeah, the and so
I'm wearing a Tomato Girl Summer t-shirt.
that's a band?
No,
No.
no, just it's an inside joke.
Okay. I'll try and pick up the meaning of that someday.
Sure.
And so at first, like, thank you for doing that. I know, that's a really, really blunt question to I guess ask somebody with a Grammy, but I think that like everybody's sort of human at the end of the day. And I think that like in LA, it's like there's this obsession with image, and then there's the creativity, there's the genuine appreciation, enjoyment of one's craft behind that. And the manufactured image is a big part of it. Like people want to see they want to see
They want to
success,
see,
love,
yeah,
and
they want to see
happiness. Yeah.
they only want to see and celebrate, what's better for whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
They never want to gravitate towards things. Certain awards companies also just get rid of categories entirely. If one of the people on the ballots doesn't happen to make $1 million a film and they decide they don't want to give that person the award, so they'd rather just get rid of the category
I will probably
because it's not good for their subscription. It's not good for getting new people to pay 300 a year to be part of their group.
I will probably experience this later in my career. I have yet to understand any of the award ceremonies in Los
You
Angeles.
don't have to.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is, it's like it's interesting to kind of hear everybody talk about it, and so it's like I feel like
Some people are so honored.
it's like I feel like I'm kind of like the new kid on the block, and I'm getting schooled by everybody who's been here a long time, and it's enlightening.
It comes with no fringe benefits either. I can't get a discount at Enterprise Rental Car at all with any of these awards. So what does it mean in the end?
So thank you for doing
Of
this, for having
course.
this sort of this.
I usually bring a martini with me and I teach the audience how to make one, but I know you said it was too early for them, but it's never too early.
Okay.
Next time I'll come better prepared. I mean, I have 16 bottles of vodka in the fridge if you are thirsty. We just drink it straight. I've got some McClure's pickles in the fridge. And yes, I will tell you this, audience. If you go to Milk Farm in Pasadena, Eagle Rock area, it's at the split there, you can find Pandora's Box pickles at Milk Farm here in Los Angeles.
All right.
See,
And
that's a plug right there.
yeah, and so I want to touch on one last thing before closing. So you've talked about how you know culinary art is art just like music.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
I love that.
And so
It's my favorite art because you can eat it.
and Anthony Bourdain, and so are there any cooks that you appreciate as much as Beethoven?
Oh, definitely Anthony Bourdain. I'd say, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities, a common ground. I like punk a lot too. He has great music taste. But also I enjoy as much as a greasy burger and a milkshake as much as a fine dining. And I cook a lot every day. I cook for the kids. I cook for my friends. I do this large Thanksgiving that I cook for like about 90 people. I call it my 2-day Thanksgiving. And I just, there's something beautiful about finding ingredients and then composing something with food. Same thing about finding the right notes and composing something. Tom Waits says songs are interesting things to be doing with the air. And if you think about it, it's pretty cool because you can't really see music
Yeah,
unless you're synesthete, but you see them in colors. But what is that, like 3% of the world population?
probably. And so in Japanese cooking, there's this thing called omakase, where it's like
Yeah.
it's created by the chef, and good chefs know how to chop up and rearrange the geometry the same way as a visual effects developer who would be building something like Pandora's box. Um, of course, you could shape them kind of like sakura flowers, but it's best to just to leave that out altogether. I think maple trees are probably fine.
They're dope. They give
Awesome.
you maple syrup,
Yeah.
which is the vital component of any pancake breakfast.
And one of the major exports in Canada.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much for doing this
Thank
and
you.
having this
Yeah,
podcast.
I loved it.